Mr. Kuhn, floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and good afternoon to both of you. Thank you for your presentation. It's nice to see the concepts of circular economy being properly, manifested on the ground so that and presented. I particularly like your straw production idea. Whoops, if you're ever looking for someone.
I think my grandfather would like that too.
Yeah, no, mine would too. I think we could work on it together. So yeah, I'm really captured by you sort of putting the concepts of circular economy into action. Clearly your team is creative, and I want to say, because I remember Armin Bannister and the group he worked with way back when to get the whole system, landfill and so on in Moncton up and running, and recycling, that certainly you've done the vision that he and his group brought to this in the Moncton area proud. I have some questions around the renewable natural gas projects. I'm quite taken with that. And I know in Quebec and in BC, there's quite a lot of work going on that way with Montreal. It's got a I don't know if it's finished yet, but it was certainly in 2019. It was intending to build a biomethane generator to clean up gas from their landfill and wastes and put it into the gas pipelines. In fact, I think BC too, and so what do you see the potential here in New Brunswick for renewable natural gas?
Bastian, did you want to?
Sure. Yeah, from doing our research into how to best utilize our landfill gas, we of course have the landfill gas generator, but we also came across the facilities I think you mentioned or referred to here. We've talked to some of the facilities out in BC and how they also sell landfill gas as a sort of medium BTU fuel to some customers. They also have a project under development where they are looking at completely purify it and remove all the non-methane from the gas so that it can be injected into the renewable or to the new natural gas grid. And this is also being done in a few occasions in Quebec. And I think that's some of the main technologies that we're hoping to get here in response to our RFP.
And I think in addition, I mean, there's anaerobic digestion with our organics. It would be a new process which would create some more gas. And I think we're in exciting times because a lot of these technologies, although they've been used for 15 to 25 years in Europe, are now showing some progress in North America. And for us, we want to make sure that if we invest in a technology, that it's a solid technology that's been used before. And hopefully we get a good proponent who's willing to take some risk and give us some revenues and have a win-win-win for the environment and the commission and the proponent.
And you mentioned, I think, in the same breath, the potential utilization of this renewable natural gas to run transit systems. Is that what I heard you say?
Yeah, that's what we're hoping to do. I mean, that's being used in some areas in the U.S. I don't think there's any spots in Canada yet, but definitely, I mean, we're here on the Berry Mills Road. We're quite close to the Trans-Canada. So it would be a good opportunity to put a filling station here with natural gas, possibly talking to our municipal partners on the maybe Kodiak Transit and some of the other large industrial users. So certainly something that, again, with this RFP that we're coming out, that would be certainly a value-added service that a proponent could provide.
And adding to that, oh, excuse me, Mr. Kuhn.
Go ahead.
Adding to that, in terms of circular economy, it is being done elsewhere where you have garbage collection trucks actually being fueled by biogas. So that's also a possibility.
I love that. And as long as the drivers are eating the vegetables from your gardens there, produced from the compost, great, you've got a little circle. And that's cool. Anyway, okay, so that's it'd be fascinating to see what kind of results you get from your RFP process. Now, it sounds like in your what's next category here, you've had conversations with other RSCs about anaerobic digestion, and so there is interest from the other regions in this? Is that what you're telling us?
Well, at the moment, no, we're just throwing that out as a possibility.
Okay. Okay.
But there is a lot of close collaboration amongst the RSCs. We talk regularly, and I guess what we'd like to see is a lot more discussion on sharing of services and partnerships and that type of stuff so that we can work together. So we actually have a technical advisor that works for 4 of the regional service commissions that shares the knowledge between the commissions, so that what used to happen, we'd have one project such as a flare that you do every 20 years, and we'd hire a consultant. The other RSC would hire another consultant, and they do the same mistakes. Well, this technical advisor goes on every project and sort of raises the bar on all of the work we do.
Well, that's good to know. So I also will say that I'm glad in the context of circular economy, you're thinking about the idea of trying to utilize more of what's recycled for manufacturing in the province. And it's always irked me that that in the past so much was being exported, and in the past so much is being exported at great distances. So by reducing those that transportation, obviously that's another way of cutting the carbon footprint. If we can produce businesses in New Brunswick to utilize that as a feedstock, that's great. And you were talking about a potential plastic facility in the Chaleur, I think.
Yeah, sorry, on that, I think that too is a discussion that we were always having as far as, let's spread it around in the region. We could have facilities throughout the province and working together to make sure that everybody gets some jobs and some good environmental carbon footprint reduction.
No, I appreciate that, and I like the way you're generating ideas. It's important, and good to clarify, but generating ideas is good. With respect to possible legislative and regulatory changes, have you actually looked at the Electricity Act to determine whether there are specific changes you would like to see or might need to see?
Our specialists have been going through that, and it is a bit of a fuzzy area at the moment for our landfill gas, whether it falls under the current legislation for the gas regulations. Because it's renewable natural gas, it may fall in a bit of a gap, and we're not really sure what will happen with it. So I guess those types of questions are being asked at the moment, and probably something we will need some help on.
Yeah, it's good that you're thinking about it and looking at it, and it sounds like a topic for RSCs around the province to get together on. Certainly to provide some guidance to us, government, in terms of what sorts of changes might be helpful.
Right.
So that would be good to hear more about in the future. So the other thing I would say is that I too share your concern over what the impacts of the planned extended producer responsibility for paper and packaging might have on Regional Service Commission's operations for waste management and including yours. As you articulated, it's still unknown, and it could go in various directions. I hope that there will be good discussions between environment, yourselves, and the industry to come up with a solution that works and doesn't undermine the good progress that you have made there and others have made in the other regional waste operations. So thank you for your time and your presentations, and especially for your creativity and willingness and courage to generate ideas. Lord knows we need lots of good ideas. Some will land and some won't, but no one should be afraid of putting forward ideas. Thanks.
Great, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kuhn. Mr. Austin, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you, Mr. LeBlanc and Mr. Holtberg. I appreciate your presentation there today. And when you were giving your presentation, I remember several years ago doing a tour. It was kind of a ribbon cutting, I guess, at the Fredericton Solid Waste